Yeah, so what we thought we would demonstrate today is a version actually of our raw cranberry sauce. I know those of you who have tried the raw cranberry sauce, everybody really raves about it. That's what we do in replacement of the commercial cranberry sauces that are often served at Thanksgiving and Christmas. So that's a whole food plant-based version of a
Can't hear Bill.
Bill, your mic is muted.
Thank you, Aisha.
Okay, now you should be able to hear. I'm sorry.
Are we good?
Yep.
We're back?
Okay,
Good. Yeah, so when you do that, just mute one at a time.
okay.
Okay, so we've got all the ingredients for our raw cranberry sauce, and it's very simple.
But we're going to make a dessert out of it
That's gonna
rather than cranberry
Yeah, it's going
sauce.
to be a dessert. So we want 4 ounces of cranberries, and we couldn't find it fresh. Now, just mute whoever's there. And so this is 8 ounces, so I just squeeze it in half, put half the cranberries in. And this calls for half an orange, and we leave the orange rind on half of the half. So it's the zest. We want to have zest in here to give it a nice orangey quality. So the zest is, the thing about making zest, doing that whole thing on a grater and cleaning it all out, it's such a lot of work. I often don't do zest for that reason. But zest has a nice, real citrusy flavor. So we get the zest by just leaving the whole rind on. And that too, from the standpoint of nutrition, increases the nutrition because every part of a food has a slightly different nutrient profile. So the skin is really good on every plant, although they're not all edible, because that's where most of the immune supporting nutrients are. This is the first offense of a fruit or a vegetable from invasion, from spoiling, from being attacked. So that's where it has all of its immune resistant nutrients. Most of those are antioxidants. And antioxidants are what give a lot of the flavor and a lot of the color to the different foods. Like orange comes from an antioxidant, beta carotene, very strong immune supporter. So when we can, we like to use skin, the skin of the plant or vegetable. So that's what zest is about. It not only provides more flavor, it provides a really strong nutrient profile as well. Okay, so that's that. So there's a half an orange with half of that half orange, having the skin on it still, the zest. This is an apple. And you can see I break it up a little bit. I cut it up, I break it up a little bit, even though it's whole, because having done this a number of times, when we whir it around, I kind of want all the pieces of the cranberry and the fruit to be about the same size. So I wouldn't want to put just a half of an apple in there, because to get that half apple chunked up well, then the cranberries would be juice. Same thing with dates. It's 4 dates, and I've cut them, I've chunked them, so that as I'm processing them in the food processor, they're the hardest ingredient.
There's a little piece of orange.
Don't leave this, she says.
I wanted him to get the little piece of orange, so he didn't waste it.
No waste in this house. Yeah, so the dates are the firmest, toughest ingredient in here. And so I cut those up again so that I don't have to let the processor try and break down a whole date to the size I want without kind of juicing everything else.
That's a good idea,
Now I'm
Val.
going to get the sweeteners. I forgot to get those out.
Well, you don't need any for this. The dates are the sweetener.
That's not what I do. So on this one, what we're going to do right now is we're going to make this the dessert. And the recipe we send you may have a modification with a little sweetener.
Bill has a sweet tooth, as you can tell.
Right. Okay, so it is this simple. We just now I like to pulse because when you pulse, it allows the heavier pieces that kind of bounce on top of the blade to fall back down and start getting chopped. So if I just turn it on high, it tends to get some of it really, really small and others are bouncing and still being big. So that's the reason I like to pulse this. And I'm going to scrape the sides down because it gets stuck up on the side.
It's starting to get pretty.
It's really good.
I find this really tasty, so we'll see what you think if you decide to make it.
For a dessert, I think that's fine enough. What do you think, hon?
Yeah, looks good.
This is what I like. You know, if it was going to be a cranberry sauce,
very pretty.
as a cranberry sauce, I would make it finer. But as a dessert, I think this would be great.
Show them that.
So,
Inside.
so this is it. Is that showing
Yeah.
now?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now, one of the things that I saw in this recipe we saw on the web was they had served it in stemware. It looks really pretty, and it's serving in stemware. So I'm going to grab some stemware.
Little baby stemware.
Little baby. This is a small serving. And we'll serve it up. Yeah.
I love that it's so quick and festive in its color and taste with the cranberry. You can do this with company, you know, you can make the dessert right after eating while the dishes are being cleared. It's so quick.
Now that is fresh.
Yeah,
Make it right after, you know, even, so
beautiful.
there we have it. Kind of cute, huh?
Kind of cute.